Light. Let's have light. My necklace is stretched. Let me just fix it. Hello for those of you watching. If you're watching the replay, say hello so that I know you've watched. It's so nice to have you here. And for those watching on YouTube, I am doing this live first in my Facebook community, Women Creating Healthy Lives. And that is a free Facebook community I have for women over the age of 40 where I share information. This is where I do these videos. I do different types of training videos, spontaneous videos, sometimes on certain subjects that my clients are asking about, or that, okay, I'm just not having a good time with this necklace right now. Let's just leave it. Oh my God. Okay. I do recipe videos, show you what I eat in a day, what I'm making for dinner sometimes. Most of the time it's really boring, so I don't show. Maybe just a salad or something. Sauteed veggies. But this week I've decided to do, in the last little while, I decided to do 7 videos on 7 various hormones that affect your health, your weight, your stress, and energy during this midlife phase, and not even just the midlife phase. I am referring and going through a book called The Hormone Reset by Dr. Sarah Gottfried. I know it's backwards because it's originally a Facebook Live video, so it does that. But, and I'm going to be doing a 30-day, I thought it was 21. It's actually a 30-day program with the Hormone Reset. The Hormone Reset's 21 days. And, yeah, so I'm going to be doing that for anybody who wants to kind of like reset their hormones. You really just give up certain things for 3 days at a time, right? One thing for 3 days, then another thing for another 3 days, things like that. It's not hard. I do it the simple way. You can get this book and do her protocols and use her recipes and stuff, which are a little more complicated, let me tell you. But for sure, you can do this, right? I do it kind of I combine the whole Hormone Reset, what I've been talking about in my videos, along with my program to help women lose weight, gain more energy, decrease inflammation, boost their immune system. So I combine mine with a bit of her stuff, like just we'll go through this book. And that's what I'm doing for my next program, which is called Body, Mind, Soul Reset. And that is going to be a 30-day program done live in a Facebook community, private one. It's going to be amazing. Let me know if you want more information. I'm doing up. I already have a webpage for it, so I'm just going to make sure it says what I want. And let's get started on the hormone we're talking about today is the growth hormone. Hello, say hello when you come on. It's the growth hormone, and it has to do with dairy. We're going to talk about the growth hormone and how dairy affects the growth hormone, okay? And as if you've watched my other videos, you'll know that one hormone affects the other, affects the other, affects the other. So it's not just one hormone that affects our weight, our energy, and all that. It's many. And when one's out of balance, it brings all the other hormones out of balance too. And my tripod's doing that. My tripod's out of balance. Okay. And the most important thing you can remember is to find what works for you. And it is really about bringing the body back into better balance. So there's not just one thing that works, right? That's why in my programs, I really do deal with the body, mind, and spirit, decreasing the stress in your life, working on your thoughts, your beliefs, the way you talk to yourself, and the, kind of limiting beliefs that have been holding you back, as well as things like emotional eating, stress eating, and mindset, really, right? Because you can have the recipes, you can have all the information, but then you don't stick with things, right? So we go deep into mindset also. Okay, I'm just going to let them know that we are on live. Let me know if you guys consume dairy. Do you consume dairy? And have you heard much about the growth hormone? So the growth hormone can actually keep us young if it's the natural hormone we are producing within our body. But if we're getting it from animals or animal products, guess what? The growth hormone will make us grow fatter. Okay. So let's see what she has to say. The growth hormone, dairy-free. So I suggest most people be dairy-free pretty much all the time anyways, because dairy causes mucus inflammation within the body. It's an acidic. It leads to illness and disease if you have too many acidic foods in your diet. And it can lead to bloating, discomfort, acid reflux, all of that. Dairy is one of the top foods that contribute to excess inflammation in the body. And I know a lot of people don't want to believe that, but that is the truth, okay? So here's some questions that if you have a problem with the growth hormone. Swelling of the lips, tongue, face, throat, or mouth. Gurgling belly after a hunk of cheese or bowl of ice cream. I definitely have that, lactose intolerance. Bloating or irritable bowel. I have that for sure if I consume dairy. The feeling that meat without cheese is not meat worth having. Always feeling like you need to have that cheese, right? Diarrhea or constipation. An addiction to milk-based treats such as latte or frappuccino. How many of you drink lattes with actual real milk, even if it's skim milk? No, 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 no. That is way too much milk. Skin, it affects your skin. So dairy for me really affects my skin. It ages me faster. I have more wrinkles, more lines that I see. Oof, I don't like it at all. Also blotchy skin, swelling, rashes, because a lot of people are actually allergic to it. So eczema, skin rashes, swelling, all of that can have to do with dairy. Allergies, sinus problems. Here we go. Tendency towards sinusitis. That's one of the questions. That rash, allergic reactions. So those are some asthma, allergies, anything like that. Okay, could be because of the dairy. Let's look at what dairy. So it says approximately 75%, including most African, Native American, and Asian population, can't make lactase, the enzyme that breaks down dairy, as they get older and therefore can't tolerate dairy. Very, very true. Yeah, they consume a lot of dairy and often in a lot of those frappuccinos and stuff. Just really bad. And then get the gut problems, the weight gain. Dairy, along with gluten, and we talked about the gluten and the grains last time, is one of the most common hidden food sensitivities. Dairy sensitivity is the result of long-term yet subtle violence against your gut. Acne, right? Acne can be another result of consuming dairy. So any teenagers that do. Adults themselves too. I'm just reading. This I don't underline. I haven't underlined this chapter, which is not good. Yeah, 75% of adults have dairy intolerance. Wow. U.S. adults, dairy intolerance, 25 to 33%. African Americans, 7%. Asians, 90%. Native Americans, 100%. 100% of Native Americans have lactose intolerance. That's amazing. Mexicans, 53%. Wow. And if you tend to be sensitive to gluten, it's a 50% chance that you are also sensitive to dairy. And I know I sure am. I need more light, don't I? Inflammation in your body's defense system. So it's your white blood cells kick into gear and send chemicals called cytokines to protect you. But when inflammation shifts into overdrive and gets imbalanced, it can become the cause of many other diseases, including cancer, diabetes, dementia, and we have so many cases of dementia and Alzheimer's now, and obesity, of course, right? Any inflammation lasting longer than 72 hours is a problem and will start to poison you and your health. So acidic foods cause inflammation in the body. Dairy, meat, even if it's organic, all those kind of meats are still acidic, but some people can handle them better. Okay, so note that. Also, certain grains are like wheats, soy. There's quite a lot of things. You can look up acidic foods. So if you Google acidic and alkaline foods and see the difference, okay? So highly acidic foods for sure cause inflammation within the body, and this leads to illness and disease. That is proven. We know that to be true. Women are more vulnerable to inflammation. Interesting. Wow. Oh, so here they go. Women of all ages have more robust immune responses to invaders such as bugs, vaccines, they will ruin your immune system, contrary to what we think, right? And food, which leads to higher rates of women of autoimmunity, thyroid issues, infections, arthritis, oral health problems, and other conditions, okay? So vaccines, bugs, which I don't know what bugs they're talking about here, but I would mean bacteria and viruses and stuff, and food, right? Lead to higher rates of autoimmune disorders, thyroid issues, infections, arthritis, oral health problems, and other conditions. And this may be linked to lower levels of testosterone and higher levels of estrogen. Interesting, right? The food you eat can either be the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. And that's by a lady called Anne Wigmore. And she was really big on a high raw diet, but more vegetables, not a fruit diet, more like vegetables, sprouts, and all of that, and greens. Inflammation is poison when it doesn't resolve, like a smoldering fire in your gut that makes it leaky, bloated, and gassy. And it causes trouble when you want to lose weight. Fortunately, it doesn't always require a lengthy doctor visit, You can reset all of this within your body. And of course, it takes structure. And of course, it takes you actually doing it. And that's why I'm doing my program coming up too. It helps so you have something to follow and you have other people who are doing it along with you so you don't feel alone, right? Key reasons we're inflamed, feel lost, can't lose weight is that we drive every day on the acid superhighway. All right. Yeah. Eat foods that are highly acidic instead of foods that are higher alkaline. And like I said, please take time to Google acidic foods and Google alkaline foods and start to adjust that in your diet today, right now. In all my programs, we have high alkaline foods and recipes, as well as some lower acidic foods, like some acidic foods. But there's definitely a balance of way more alkaline foods. And that's why people have so many great, like I have women, usually they come into my programs, they were never able to lose weight before. They always lose weight. They always lose weight and they always end up with more energy and decreasing cravings and less inflammation. And they begin to fit their clothes better. So it's just like the bloating and the puffiness goes away, okay? And that can happen in less than 2 weeks. So I just want to tell you that, right? It's not hard. Once you get on the right track, it can happen very, very fast. So please reach out to me. Like I said, I have a new 30-day program starting. I also have ways of working one-on-one with you. From anybody could afford it because I have all these different ways, okay? Okay. They talk about simple carbs are the saboteurs of the pH balance, like breads and muffins and pastries and any type of sugar, right? And chocolate sugar too, all of that. Remember, we talk about that in all of my programs. It's not that you can never eat those things again. It's about a balance. It's about way more of the good and far less of the other things that are actually causing the problems that are keeping your hormones out of balance. That's so important to know. And also, it's not only that it keeps you out of balance, feeling tired, fatigued, gaining weight. It's bad for your health. It's breaking down your body. It's destroying the ways your cells communicate. If your cells can't communicate properly, if your cells aren't being fed properly, your body will not continue to be healthy. Exactly, right? It's like a car. If you don't feed your car and fuel it properly and take care of it, it will break down. It's just common knowledge. Most people spend more on their cars than they do on their own body and their own health. Okay. And I was talking about it, green smoothies, green drinks, green super powders, all the super powders, salads, sprouts, you know, the healthy foods, greens, vegetables. So what's in the milk is called casein, C-A-S-E-I-N. It's a protein in the milk. Is a leading cause of inflammation among my clients. They're just talking about, Dr. Sarah's saying this, who are overweight or obese. With this protein, we have yet another case of mistaken identity, okay? It's the same, same as gluten, she's kind of saying. Your sensitivity to dairy occurs when your immune system falsely identifies the dairy protein as harmful and inappropriately fires an allergic reaction, allergic antibodies for protection. So your body sees that casein, like gluten, as dangerous and bad for your body, so it puts your body in an immune response and it starts firing off allergic antibodies for protection. And this, for one, also puts your body under way more stress. The interaction causes a cascade of body chemicals that set off the fire throughout your body and make you hang on to weight. It causes the inflammation, okay? These chemicals include histamine, which causes symptoms that include some of these: swelling lips, mouth, tongue, face, or throat, skin reactions, hives, rash, red, itchy skin, stuffy nose, runny nose, sinusitis, sneezing, itchy eyes, coughing, or wheezing. Now, you may not have some of these severe symptoms, but you could still be sensitive. You just may not be to the point yet where you're as unhealthy yet to notice some of these symptoms. But if you continue not hearing the mild symptoms and still continuing to have too much of the dairy, too much acidic foods, eventually you will have all the bad symptoms and be like, oh my God, why am I feeling so terrible? The most serious reaction to milk allergy can involve anaphylaxis, a potentially life-threatening reaction, right? So we know things like that people have with peanut butter or bee stings, anaphylactic reaction. Be wary of whey. And I know a lot of people have whey protein, okay? Whey is the serum of milk. The liquid remaining after milk has been curdled and strained. It's used to make processed foods such as breads, crackers, and pastries, as well as cheeses such as ricotta. In modern times, just talking about Little Miss Muffet, has to be careful not to eat too much whey or she might get muffin top. Little Miss Muffin Top. Whey can cause weight problems and put on weight. And I know a lot of women consume whey protein. So what I want to say to you is in midlife, do not consume whey protein. Okay. No matter what your personal trainer tells you, who doesn't understand women, hormones, and midlife. Okay. So no whey products. If milk gives you the sniffles, it doesn't even matter if you think you have a condition. I can just tell you right now, you may not notice that it's bothering you, but what I want to say is if you want a good protein powder, stick to something like a rice protein, a pumpkin seed. You can make your own protein powder with grind chia seeds, grind hemp seeds, and grind pumpkin seeds. Grind them in a NutriBullet or a coffee grinder and use that as a protein powder. Just don't put in too much. It'll super thicken your smoothie, right? So just start with a tablespoon or two and see how you like that in your smoothie, okay? Hello, Linda. Da, da, da. Just talking about lactose intolerance. Yeah, lactose intolerance. So lactose intolerance is usually milder than a casein or whey intolerance. Well, I have not a good lactose intolerance. I do not feel good when I consume it. Although I like gelato every once in a while, but still, I only literally have like a tiny little baby gelato and I still feel it the next day. So what they say too is that you may be consuming dairy, not noticing much of anything, and saying, oh, I think I feel fine, but not understanding some of your symptoms could have to do with this. But the battlefield in your belly often appears later in life, with symptoms including gurgling, bloating, discomfort, gas, diarrhea, acid reflux, right? How do you know if you've got it? Ask your health professionals for one of the following tests: hydrogen breath test, lactose tolerance test, stool acidity test. But you don't really need the test because when you take it out of your diet and you'll notice, oh my God, like I'm feeling so much better in so many ways, right? And if you really greatly decrease the milk, dairy, cheese, all of those things, because it's acidic, because it's mucus forming, because it's inflammation forming, so it's good to greatly decrease it anyways, then you're doing what you do. It doesn't matter what the test really says, right? It's just going to tell you to give it up. So just give it up. Okay, here we go. Like a dairy intolerance may mean that you are at risk for other health problems too, because it causes inflammation in your body. So of course, inflammation leads to illness and disease within your body, right? Diabetes, cow's milk allergy increases your risk of mental health problems like schizophrenia. Wow. And we know, if you watched my video on gluten, the thyroid hormone, so my video on the thyroid hormone that's in here, you will hear me talk about a brain surgeon who did a study on schizophrenia patients and discovered that 100% of them were gluten intolerant. And most of them had dairy problems, okay? That's exactly what this says. Mental health problems too, which is crazy. It's hard to believe that, but yes, right? It's just amazing. And the milk and dairy and wheat, you know, all of that, when that came out when we were young, right? In the 70s and the 60s, and it was so important for us to drink milk so we grow up strong and to eat your bread and have high in fiber and all this crap. None of it was really true, which is really sad. Milk actually causes calcium deficiency. What it does, osteoporosis more so, because what it does is milk is acidic. So when you're consuming high cheese milk diet, your bones, so your body notices that's a high acidic environment. To balance the acidity, your body needs to become more alkaline. And if you're not eating enough alkaline foods, it pulls the alkaline, which are the minerals, from your bones to help balance your body. It pulls calcium, magnesium out of you to try better balance the effects of the acidity that's going into you. So milk, yes, has calcium, but don't get your calcium from milk or dairy products. That's the worst place and most unhealthy place you can get it from, okay? That is not the place to get your calcium and your magnesium. Google what vegetables, what foods have magnesium and what foods and vegetables have calcium, okay? Chia seeds is also one that I recommend all the time because it has calcium, good fats, complete protein, high fiber. All right. Turns out there's very little science to prove milk consumption reduces your risk of bone fractures. Luckily, you don't need to drink milk to have strong bones, right? Other sources of calcium, and I do have a graphic that I could post with calcium foods. Salmon, sardines, I have sardines. Salmon, sardines, turnip greens, almonds, kale, bok choy, broccoli, spinach, and sweet potatoes and yams, you guys. Bok choy is really good. And cabbage. And of course, chia. And sesame seeds. Tahini is good for calcium too. Oh, addicted to cheese. They say it's like crack. You could be so addicted. I was so addicted to cheese when I was younger. Oh my, I had 5 pieces of cheddar cheese every single day when I was younger. And oh my God, I had so many digestive problems. I didn't even know it was linked to cheese or dairy products. It affects you like, oh, here we go. It says it's as addictive as crack. And that's exactly what I just said. I was thinking, but yeah. So it's really interesting. There's a reason you feel addicted to your favorite dairy treats. It turns out that they contain casomorphins, protein fragments that come from the digestion of the milk protein casein, a cousin of morphine, and heroin. Casomorphins are opioids that keep you addicted. Casomorphins are like crack, which is why so many of us have an addiction to cheese or lattes or cream in the coffee. With its drug-like effects, no wonder dairy is constipating, just like opiate painkillers are. Unreal. And it slows down your digestion. Ooh. Okay, dairy and growth hormone. It turns out that conventional dairy raises growth hormone and insulin. The growth hormone, along with cortisol, determines how much fat you deposit on your belly. So the growth hormone, along with cortisol is your stress hormone. If you're consistently stressed, you're pumping out a lot of cortisol, you're going to gain belly fat for sure, and you're not going to lose it. So along with cortisol, the growth hormone and insulin give you the belly fat. And we talked about insulin too. So go back on the other hormones. I talked about insulin as a hormone. And that is sugar and caffeine, okay? Like cortisol, insulin, and all other hormones of the metabolism, growth hormone should be in a neutral zone for optimal functioning. The problem is that synthetic growth hormone, known as bovine somatotropin, which of course, so if they give the animals these growth hormones, we are taking in the food or the milk from these animals, and we ourselves get pumped full of these hormones. And they're not natural hormones. They're not good for our body, but they cause us to be fat, okay? I think that is so much why there's so many obese people now, is because all of the fast food stuff and the conventional meats and the conventional dairies that are mass produced on these farms. And they're so pumped full of hormones that people are overeating those foods and becoming fat. They can't help it. They can't even lose fat, right? When injected once every 2 weeks, the hormone can increase a cow's milk output by 10 to 15%. So more money. Avoid dairy beginning with the 3-day reset. And what she says here in the reset is like, take it out for 3 days. I would just like, pretty much, the only time I use dairy is if I'm in a cafe or something and I don't really want to ask for almond milk. They're super busy and I'm just going to have one little coffee, and I literally put such a tiny bit, I shouldn't even put it in, of milk or cream in my coffee. And that's the only time. Or a little bit of gelato, you know. Even kefir, you guys, has lactose. So I can't even have kefir. I love it. I love kefir. I love yogurt. And a lot of people, what about yogurt? What about yogurt? Please consume it small amounts. It is still a dairy. It is still inflammation forming, mucus forming. You can still have a lactose intolerance, okay? Dairy is not a great place, like I said, to get calcium or to get protein. Do not use it for calcium or protein. Use it as a junk food, okay? Eat lots of fiber and fresh vegetables. What do I tell you all the time? Okay. Ghee is fine. So for those of you who consume ghee, yes, totally fine. You can consume ghee. And in my programs, I show you how to make like vegan cheeses and stuff like that, and vegan crackers and breads and all of that. So in my programs, you get recipes for all of those. And let me tell you, the cream cheeses and the cream sauces that I make, oh my God, they're amazing, but they are vegan. They don't contain any preservatives and they don't contain any lactose at all. And they are amazing. They're so, so good. All right. Another thing I want to really mention is when you buy your almond milk, soy, whatever type of milk you're buying, make sure that you do not buy those small Tetra packs, because they are loaded with preservatives and gums, and they're put on a shelf. They're meant to last for a long time. Therefore, you know they're not real at all. They're really bad. So go into the fridge section and get your coconut milk, your almond milk from the fridge. I know they only sell them in the big things. That doesn't matter. Get it in a big thing. Do not buy those small Tetra packs that sit on a shelf. They are full of so much junk. You are ingesting that junk. Your body can't break it down. It's not food. It's toxins, it's chemicals. It's going to be stored in your fat. You're not going to lose fat, and it causes inflammation in the body, and it disrupts the chemicals, which are the hormones of your body. Okay, so don't buy those small Tetra packs. I always forget to talk about that. Holy cow. Digestive enzymes and probiotics, okay? So make sure you're taking digestive enzymes and also probiotics. And for probiotics, at least 50 billion, okay, in a capsule. Any less is like, you'd have to be really pretty healthy, okay? So anybody who's dealing with anything, especially through midlife, I would say at least 50 billion for your probiotics, okay? And I take mine one at night and sometimes one in the morning. All right. That is my talk. All right. Do you guys have any questions? Thank you so much for being here, and those being on the replay, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to post a hello below. Let me know that you've watched, and if you have any questions, and if you want to inquire about my one-on-one coaching, my new program coming up, get a hold of me through my personal Facebook, Diana Marchand, or you can go to my site, dianamarchand.com, and contact me through there. But the best way is through Facebook. And I am on Instagram, not really, but Diana Marchand 5050. But I should get on there more. I know. I like it. I mean, I don't know. I just don't like typing with my finger. It's a drag. Facebook, I can use my computer. I don't like being on my phone, you guys. I don't do much from my phone. I type with one finger. I don't even know how to do that. All right, so my next 30-day program, Body, Mind, Spirit, Body, Mind, Soul Reset, is going to have some of the hormone reset in it. So you can join us and do the hormone reset. It's 21 days, and then we're going to go 30 days. You get recipes, you get recipe videos, you get all the information, handouts, It's in a private Facebook group. You'll always have access to that private Facebook group that you can go back to over and over again. You get the handouts, recipes, all that emailed to you. They'll also be in the Facebook group. If you ever lose them, you can go in there and download them again. And you also get to be surrounded by a supportive, amazing group of women. I do 2 live coaching videos per week, which include Body, Mind, and Spirit, the mindset too, right? The stress reduction, more information on food, hormones, whatever we're talking about, right? And it is specifically geared for the women who are in that group at that time. So the great thing about my programs is you can take them as a repeat person, like coming back and taking them over and over again, because they're always different, because I help the women who are in the group at that time. Whatever these individuals want help with the most, I'm there to help them. So when you're in one of my programs, you get help from me. You let me know what you need, and that's what I talk about. That's what my videos are about. That's what I give you handouts about. That's what I give you videos on, okay? So there's not just a certain structure that I follow for everybody. It is when you're in the program, it is actually quite individualized. If you speak up, let me know what you need. And we work as a group, right? So we help each other out, encourage each other, inspire each other. And I'm in the group every single day, giving you my best information, answering your questions, and you're posting your food so I can see what you eat and I can tell you how to adjust it. That would help, again, with inflammation, energy, your immune system, and losing the weight. Okay, so message me if you want information on that, because I'm going to be doing that right away. And much love to you. Thank you for watching. Have an amazing evening. It's Saturday night. I'm just staying at home. Okay, bye-bye.